of Deputy Enda Kenny as Taoiseach of a Fine Gael Labour Party coalition government. The very first sentence of the programme for government states that a democratic revolution took place in Ireland on the 25th of February. The Oxford Dictionary defines revolution as the overthrow of a government or social order in favour of a new system. That being the case, then the programme presented by Deputy Kenny is a grotesque betrayal of that revolution, because it proposes almost to the letter to continue the reactionary programme of the old order, of the late and unlamented regime of Fianna Fáil and the Green Party, a regime that was rightly reviled and rejected and sent to oblivion by the Irish people for its economic and political crimes. And Count Cormac, given the day that's in it, I'm surprised that the remnants of that government didn't return with their brows heavily stained with penitential ash to recognise the role that they have played. The outgoing regime indulged the profiteering speculator and the grasping bankers, imprisoning a generation of young working people in monstrous mortgages and now in negative equity. And when that greed fest inevitably choked on its own excess, it treacherously connived with the EU, IMF and the ECB to save the skins of the major European banks that had their snouts deep in the feeding trough that was the Irish property market, where they slurped as frenetically as any Fianna Fáil developer or a big Irish banker. And for this, and the crash that inevitably resulted, now we see the savage attacks on the living standards of our people, which this nominee for government intends to continue. They attack public services, they steal from the disabled and the poor. A revolution would overturn and reverse all that. But what this nominee for Taoiseach proposes is to confirm and reinstate the discredited programme by a discredited government. The poisonous cocktail of austerity, drawn up, concocted by the witch doctors in Brussels and in Frankfurt because of the sickness of the European financial system, is to continue to be force-fed to the Irish people by this new proposed government. Therefore, a vote for Deputy Kenny for Taoiseach is a vote not for revolution, not for change, but for counter-revolution and more of the same.